Find a comfortable position now. Let your body settle into whatever is supporting you. Feel the weight of your limbs becoming heavier, more relaxed with each breath you take. There's nothing you need to do tonight, nowhere you need to be, no problem waiting for your attention. Tonight, you're simply going to rest, and I'm going to take you somewhere warm, somewhere that smells of butter and brown sugar and something cinnamon just beginning to caramelize at the edges of a tin. Close your eyes if you haven't already. Take one slow breath in and let it go, and another. Good. Let's begin. It is early morning, the kind of morning where the sky never quite decided to wake up, where the light stayed low and silver and soft, tucked behind a ceiling of gray cloud that stretches from one end of the town to the other. You are walking down a narrow cobblestone lane. The stones beneath your feet are dark and slick with overnight rain, with each one rounded at the edges from decades of shoes passing over them, unhurried shoes mostly. This is not the kind of street where people rush. On either side of you, old terraced buildings lean slightly toward each other overhead, their upper floors almost close enough to touch. Window boxes trail late season ivy. A cat sits perfectly still on a windowsill 2 stories up, watching the lane below with the unruffled patience of something that has decided the whole world is mildly interesting. The rain is not heavy. It is the softest kind, the kind that barely announces itself. A mist, almost, a breath of water. You can feel it on your face as a kind of coolness, a gentle prickling, and you can hear it in the air as a low, constant hiss against the stone and tile and leaf. Your coat is buttoned all the way up. Your hands are in your pockets, and you are not in a hurry. You're looking for a particular door. You have been told about it by someone who mentioned it the way people mention places they love, almost in passing, almost casually, but with a small light on their eyes that gave them away. There's a bakery, they said, on the lane with the green lamppost. You'll smell it before you see it. And you do, before you even spot the lamppost, a deep sage green, standing at a slight angle as though it has been leaning into the wind for 50 years. You catch something in the air, something warm, something sweet and yeasty and deeply comforting. The kind of smell that reaches past your nose and lands somewhere lower, somewhere older, somewhere in the part of you that remembers being small and safe and wrapped in something soft. You slow your pace. You are already breathing more deeply. There it is, a small shop front with a low window and a dark wooden door. Above the door, a hand-painted sign in cream and brown letters. The Rainy Day Bakery. Someone has painted a tiny rolling pin beneath the words, and below that, in smaller script, established in weather like this, you smile. The window is fogged from the warmth inside, but you can see the glow of it, amber and golden and steady. And along the bottom of the glass, arranged on a low shelf lined with brown paper are small loaves of bread, round ones, oval ones, one that has cracked along the top in a long, perfect split, the inside golden pale and soft. You reach out and push open the door. A small bell above the door chimes once, a clean, clear note that hangs in the air for a moment before settling, and then the warmth reaches you. It comes over you like stepping into a room where a fire has been burning for hours. Not a sharp heat, a deep, settled warmth that presses gently against your face and hands and the top of your ears. You feel your shoulders drop, your jaw unclenches, your breath slows all on its own. The bakery is small. There's a counter along the back wall, dark wood and glass, behind which the baked things are arranged with quiet care. There are no dramatic towers of pastry, no elaborate displays, just things placed where they belong. Round tarts with their tops dusted in icing sugar, small cinnamon rolls resting against each other, a loaf of deep score down its spine showing the pale crumb beneath the crust, still faintly steaming. To your left, two small wooden tables with mismatched chairs, a low shelf of books along one wall, paperbacks mostly, their spines soft and faded. A chalkboard above the counter lists the offerings in handwriting that is slightly uneven, slightly rushed, entirely worn. The floor is old flagstone, worn smooth and pale in the middle of the room where generations of feet have crossed it. Rain taps at the window. You find a chair near the corner, not too close to the door, not in anyone's way, the kind of spot that feels like it was kept for you specifically. You sit down and feel the solidity of the chair beneath you, the table in front of you, the gentle ambient warmth of this whole small room wrapped around you. There's a small candle on your table, just a stub of beeswax in a ceramic holder. Its flame is perfectly still. You let your coat rest open at the shoulders. You let your hands on the table. You look at the window, at the bird world outside, cobblestones going dark, the lampposts glowing its soft green, the mist continuing its quiet work on the lane. A pigeon settles on the windowsill for a moment and then leaves. You breathe. There are sounds here that you didn't notice at first. Sounds that only emerge when you stop moving, stop looking around, stop orienting yourself. When you finally settle enough to let the room speak. From somewhere behind the counter, through a door left slightly ajar, there's a sound of an oven. Not the noise of it turning on or off, just its presence. A low, constant, contained warmth sound. A kind of hum that lives at the bottom of everything else. The clink of a tin set down on a wooden surface. The papery rustle of something being wrapped. The quiet, even rhythm of a rolling pin. Steady, unhurried. The sound of someone who has done this 10,000 times and found a peace in it. Back and forth, back and forth. A brief pause, and then again. Now and then, from outside, the sound of rain intensifying slightly, a gust lifting it briefly against the glass. and then settling back to its steady whisper. The candle flame on your table does not move. A small ceramic cup is placed in front of you. Tea, dark amber in the light, steam rising from it in a slow, unhurried spiral. The cup is handmade, slightly uneven, glazed in a warm brown with a rim that has gone deeper, darker where the glaze pulled. You wrap both your hands around it. You feel the heat travel through your palms, into your fingers, settling into all the small joints and spaces there. You don't drink it yet, you just hold it. Outside, the rain decides to stay. After a while, it might be 5 minutes, it might be 20. Time does something different in here. A small wooden board is placed on your table. On it, a thick slice of bread, dark on the outside, a proper crust, the kind that you can hear when you press it, the kind that resists for a moment before giving way. Inside, the crumb is open and pale and slightly honeyed looking, with the particular texture that only comes from a dough that has been left to rise slowly in the dark for over hours. Beside it, a small dish of butter, deeply yellow, the kind that has been softened to just the right point, not melted, not cold and hard, but yielding, ready, and a small pot of something dark, jam perhaps, or a preserve, something with fruit that has been cooked down into a deep concentrated sweetness, the color of garnet held up to the light. You look at it for a moment before you touch anything. There is something about food that has been made by hand, made slowly, made in a warm room on a rainy morning. Something about it that asks to be noticed before it is eaten. Something that deserves a moment of simple attention. The smell of it reaches you, the good bread smell, the one that is somehow both familiar and extraordinary. Yeast and warmth and the faint caramel note of the crust. You pick up the slice. You can feel the texture of it through your fingers, the resistance of the crust, the slight give of the crumb beneath. You spread the butter slowly, watching it soften into the warmth of the bread, feeling the small pockets of the crumb glossing the surface. A small spoonful of the preserve. You eat slowly. You are in no hurry at all. The bread is exactly what you hoped it would be, substantial and soft and slightly sour in the way that good bread is sour, in a way that makes the sweetness of the jam make more sense. The butter coats everything in a quiet richness. The jam is dark plum, you think, with something underneath it, maybe a little cardamom, just maybe something you can't quite name, but that makes the whole thing taste like it was made specifically for a morning like this one. You take a sip of your tea. You set the cup back down on the table. You are warm all the way through. The rain is steady now. You can hear it finding all its rhythms. The faster percussion on the stone outside, the longer, slower drumming on the slow awning above the door, the soft, continuous hiss in the distance that is the rain over the rooftops of the whole town, layered, complex, and somehow, underneath it all, deeply, profoundly restful. You finish your bread. You hold your cup. The candle flame makes small, slow movements, not really flickering, just breathing. The light it casts on the table is warm and low and unhurried. It makes the grain of the wood visible. It makes the small imperfections of the ceramic cup visible. It makes everything feel a little more real, a little more present, a little more exactly where it should be. You become aware of your body, the weight of your hands on the table, the weight of your back against the chair, the contact of your feet with the cool flagstone floor, the warmth of the cup beneath your palms. You do not need to hold on to anything right now. You can simply be here, in this chair, in this bakery, with the rain outside and the warmth inside and the lingering taste of good bread and dark plum jam and tea. Your breath is slow, in and out, in and out, with each breath taking a little longer than the last. Each exhale releases something, some small held tension, some small unconscious effort, until you feel you are simply resting completely in a chair by a rain fogged window on a gray and generous morning. From somewhere behind the door to the kitchen, the sounds of baking continue their gentle conversation. You find yourself listening more closely now, not straining to hear, just opening to what is there. The low thunk of dough being turned onto a floored surface, a gentle rhythm of folding. You can picture it without seeing it. Hands working dough, the patient repetition of stretching and folding, the way the dough slowly changes its texture under that attention, becoming smoother, more elastic, more willing. The hollow sound of a proving basket being lifted, the brief rush of warmth when an oven door is opened, and then the soft click of it closing again. Rain on the window, a tin being slid into position, the sound of a timer being set, not a loud alarm, just a small mechanical click, the kind that gets wound by hand. These are ancient sounds, human sounds, the sounds of people making things for other people to eat, the sounds that have been made in kitchens and bakeries and hearths for as long as there has been people. Sounds of care and patience and the slow transformation of simple things into something nourishing. You feel the warmth of it settle over you. Your eyes are heavy, not uncomfortably so, just heavy in the way that eyes get when the body knows it is safe and the mind has finally agreed to stop. Outside, the rain decides to stay a little while longer, soft and even and continuous. You are in no hurry. Something new has arrived in the air. A warm, sweet, spiced smell. Cinnamon, unmistakably, but beneath it something buttery and rich and caramelized. The kind of smell that travels through the walls, that follows you around corners, that makes every other consideration irrelevant for a moment. A tray comes to rest on the counter. Small golden brown rolls, each one tight spiraled, each one glazed with something that has gone translucent and slightly sticky in the oven's heat. Where the cinnamon filling has oozed to the edges, It has darkened and caramelized into something even richer, a deep amber against the pale gold of the dough. One is placed on a small plate and set before you. It is still warm. You can feel the heat of the plate through the air beneath between you. The glaze is just set, a thin sheen of something sweet and vanilla scented. The spiral of the roll is visible in cross section, layers of dough and filling all pressed together into their own small architecture. You pull at the outermost spiral. It comes away easily, slowly, trailing a string of glaze that catches the candlelight for a moment before settling. The filling is dark inside. Cinnamon and brown sugar and butter all cooked together into something almost jammy. The dough is soft, pillowy, with just enough structure to hold itself together. You eat it slowly, roll by roll, spiral by spiral, each layer slightly different from the last. The outside a little more glazed, a little more caramelized, the inside softer and warmer and richer. You lick a small smear of glaze from your thumb. Outside, the rain. Inside, the candle. Your breath, slow and full and easy. The morning has become something else without you noticing. Not afternoon quite yet, but that in between time when the light shifts and the pace of a rainy day finds its true rhythm. A little slower, a little softer. The world outside the window showing no signs of changing its mind about the weather, and you showing no signs of needing it to. The breadboard has been cleared. Your cup has been refilled. The bakery is quiet now. No new sounds from the kitchen. Just the settled warmth of the oven doing its long, slow work. The hum of it. The occasional small tick of the tin cooling or heating by degrees. You have picked up one of the paperback books from the shelf by the wall. You are not really reading it. You are holding it, looking at the pages. Occasionally, your eyes rest on a sentence or a paragraph, and the words drift through you the way the words do when you're very relaxed, arriving, hovering, and then gently releasing without needing to be understood or retained. Something about a river, something about a long afternoon, a door left open somewhere. It doesn't matter. What matters is the weight of the book in your hands, the faint smell of old paper, the warmth of the cup beside you on the table, the rain on the glass, the candle on the table, the steady amber, peaceful interior of this small room with its flagstone floor and its shelf of soft spine books and its smell of butter and cinnamon and bread. Your eyes close, you let them. The book rests open in your hands. Your head is heavy, your breathing is slow. The sounds of the bakery move around you like a gentle current, carrying you, not disturbing you. The rain is a constant, even presence. The warmth is complete. You are not asleep yet, but you're very close. Time does not move the same way in a bakery on a rainy afternoon. It moves the way bread rises, slowly, invisibly, without effort. You are barely aware of the hour, only the warmth, only of the rain, only of the particular quality of the light through the fogged window, pale gray and diffuse, the kind of light that asks nothing of you, that simply exists, that makes everything inside look warmer by contrast. Your body has given up holding itself. Your shoulders have settled. Your arms are resting. Your legs are loose and comfortable. Your feet are still on the cool flagstone, and the contrast of that, the coolness at your feet, the warmth everywhere else, is surprisingly perfect, surprisingly right. You are breathing very slowly now, in through your nose, the scent of bread and beeswax and cinnamon, out through your mouth, a long, easy exhale, in, out. The oven hums its deep, contained hum. The candle burns its careful flame. The rain talks through the window in its low, continuous voice, and you rest completely, without effort, without agenda, without needing to be anywhere or anyone other than exactly what you are, exactly where you are, in this chair, in this warm room, on this gray and rainy afternoon. Sometime later, you couldn't say when, the smell changes again, something deeper, less sweet, more fundamental. A new bread has come out of the oven. You can hear it before you smell it. The small sounds of a tin being lifted, turned, the loaf tapped from the inside to test its hollow sound, and then placed on a wire rack to cool. The smell arrives in a moment later, a dark, complex smell, wheat and rye together, something slightly smoky at the very back of it, a rich, deep, earthly warmth that is less sweet than the pastry smells and more ancient somehow, more essential. This is the kind of bread that takes days to make. A sourdough started days ago with just flour and water and thyme, fed slowly, left to ferment and develop and become something more than its ingredients. The smell carries all of that history. You can almost taste the slow hours in it, the patient waiting, the trust that the bread knows how to become itself if you give it enough time and warmth and rest. You don't need to see it. Just knowing it is there, resting on its wire rack in the warm kitchen, crackling faintly as the crust contracts in the cooler air, just knowing that is enough. There is something comforting about things that take time, about processes that cannot be rushed, about the understanding that some of the best things, bread, trust, sleep, healing, move at their own pace, and that your only job is to create the right conditions and then let go. You let go. Your breath slows. Your body sinks a little deeper into the chair. The bread cools on its rack. The rain falls on the lane outside, and you are held completely by the warmth of this afternoon. The candle has burned lower, not much, but enough to notice the subtle change in the angle of its light, the way the shadows on the table have shifted slightly, deepened slightly, taken on a slightly more amber quality. The rain outside is gentler now, still there, still continuous, but quieter, as though it has found a kind of ease in the long afternoon, a more comfortable rhythm, a sustainable pace. The window has cleared slightly, not all the way. There's still a haze of condensation in the corners and along the lower edge of the glass, but in the middle, you can see the lane more clearly now. The cobblestones dark and gleaming, the lamppost casting its soft green light into a shallow pool of brightness on the stones. A single leaf pressed flat against the window by the rain, perfectly still, perfectly at rest. The bakery smells different now, too. Not worse, just different. The active baking smells have settled into something more ambient, more integrated. The smell of a place that has been baking all day long. A warm, layered, complex smell that is part bread and part butter, and part wood and part candle wax, and part that particular something that is just the smell of a warm room on a rainy day. An olfactory equivalent of the color amber, rich and deep and quiet. You are very nearly asleep. Your thoughts, as if they are still forming, are soft at the edges. They arrive and dissolve without insisting on themselves. An image here, a cobblestone, a spiral of steam, a dark plum glaze catching the light, a sensation there of the warmth of the cup, the weight of the book, the slight roughness of the flagstone under your feet. Nothing demands your attention. Nothing requires anything of you. You are simply present, very slightly, very gently present, in this warm room, in this afternoon, in this rain. One more round of baking near the end of the day. Small things this time, individual rolls perhaps, or biscuits, the kind made with very cold butter cut into flour, touched as little as possible, allowing to be what they want to be, flaky, layered, slightly uneven, perfectly themselves. The sound of a pastry brush, soft strokes of an egg wash across surfaces that will turn a deep burnished gold, the oven door, the timer, the weight, and then, after a while, the smell of them, golden and simple and warm, just flour and butter and heat, the most elemental bakery smell, the one that needs no elaboration, no embellishment, no further ingredient, the one that is complete exactly as it is. You breathe it in slowly all the way to the bottom of your lungs, and you let it go out all the way in, out. Your body is heavy with ease. Your mind is quiet. The afternoon has done what afternoon does when you let it. It has moved slowly, gently, without urgency, and it has delivered you to a place of deep rest. The rain outside is barely audible now, a soft presence, a reassurance rather than sound. The candle burns low, the bakery is warm, and you are exactly where you need to be. Let your eyes stay closed. There's nothing left to see tonight. Let your hands rest where they are. There's nothing left to hold. Let your breath continue its slow, easy rhythm without your help, without your attention. Your body knows how to breathe. Your body knows how to rest. Your body knows how to sleep. All you have to do is stay. Stay in the warmth. Stay in the quiet. Stay with the sound of the rain, so soft now, so continuous, so perfectly designed for exactly this, for letting go, for releasing the day, for sinking gently into the deep restorative darkness of sleep. The bread is made, the oven is warm, the candle is low, the rain is steady, and you are safe, completely safe, completely warm, completely at rest. Let the last of the days holding go now. Let your muscles release. Let your jaw soften. Let your hands uncurl. Let your shoulders settle further. Let your whole body become heavier and heavier and perfectly, restfully still. The bakery holds you. The rain holds you. The warmth holds you. Sleep is very close now, just here, just beneath this moment. Let yourself go toward it, gently, without effort, the way bread rises, the way the afternoon moved, the way the rain falls on the cobblestones of a quiet lane on a gray and generous morning, slowly, easily, without hurry, without end. You are sleeping now, deeply, peacefully. Well, good night.